What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Today is Friday, June 6th, and got two MLB looks that I really like at the time of recording right now. So I'll share those today. And I'm gonna try to make this quick video because I do gotta leave in a little bit. But yeah, guys, quick recap of yesterday. As you guys can see, yesterday was June 5th. Only had one play yesterday. Was Brian Wu over 5.5 strikeouts, which was a winner, thankfully. So after a crappy day the day before that, just had one play, and now we're 4-7 on these plays. For not a great record, not a great ROI, but long season ahead. So yeah. Anyways, guys, let's get into the projections for today. All right, guys. So these are the strikeout projections. As you guys can see, a couple 20%ers, which is obviously what I'm looking for. We got the Eduardo Rodriguez over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 165. That is a pretty high projection edge, I guess. And then Bryce Miller under 5.5 strikeouts, which is minus 135. I have it at minus 140, but I need to update that. It's actually minus 135. And that is the official play. So let's talk about Bryce Miller, and then we'll circle back over to circle back over to Eduardo, and I'll tell you guys why I'm not actually playing it. But Bryce Miller under 5.5 strikeouts. So last game, let's see, they're playing against the Angels, which of course, guys, the Angels are a great strikeout matchup. But however, guys, Bryce Miller, he has really not been good this year. Obviously, as you can see in the top left, his actual numbers versus his projected numbers, he is kind of like really, underperforming on his projected numbers. But like I said, I care about the actual numbers a little bit more than the projected numbers. So yeah, he has not been great, especially not been great against righties, right? And if you look at this Angels lineup, which obviously, guys, outside of like Shanuel and Rengifo, the two lefties, this lineup does strike out a lot, not gonna lie. Like very high projected strikeout rates, very high like strikeout rates over the last 30. We all know this still about the Angels, right? And that's factored into the number, and he's still only getting to 4.19. So yeah, I think that obviously Miller fares a little bit better against lefties this year. And 7 out of 9 are projected to be righties. The Angels are a very right-handed bats heavy lineup. That's just like how the roster is constructed. So yeah, should see a lot of righties, which usually wouldn't be great, but it's pretty good going up against Bryce Miller. Another thing, guys, I only have him projected for 82 pitches. So he had right elbow tightness and went on the 15-day IL. Right elbow tightness for a pitcher, guys. I mean, that just seems that does not seem something like you want to rush him back real quick for, right? That's something you got to be careful with. He only threw 71 pitches in his first start, so I do have him. Like Miller normally will throw like no injuries, like just full health. I think he's usually around like a 90 pitch guy. So I do have him at 82 pitches. So yeah, obviously really high pitches per plate appearance. This Angels lineup, obviously since they strike out a lot, they also have a very high projected pitches per plate appearance. So yeah, only have them facing 19.2 batters when you combine like how the Angels how patient they are at the plate and combine Miller's injury and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like 19.2 batters faced. Getting 6 strikeouts would be a pretty big task, especially for someone like Bryce who has struggled as much as he had. So yeah, big fan of under 5.5 strikeouts. Like I said, there is best prices at ProphetX right now. And then there also is minus 135s at 365, ESPN, and MGM. And of course, guys, I'm a big fan of ProphetX. I'm a big fan of Novig. I have them both linked down below. Like I said, with MLB, they'll have the best number a lot of the time. So if you guys are serious about betting, like you seriously should be, using Novig and using ProphetX, because they just have like really good numbers on there. And if you're serious about making as much money as possible, you're serious about getting the best number all the time. So make sure to go check those out. Link down below in the description. All right, guys. So yeah, Bryce Miller under strikeouts. That's my first play. Like I said, I don't actually play these until lineups release, right? So yeah, it's because I actually like to see what the actual lineups are, but obviously I'm just doing these for like what I would play, and I do really like this Miller look too, by the way. So yeah, not just trying to give you guys BS, but anyways, so going over the hits allowed projections, Bailey Ober over 5.5 hits allowed. This is actually a better number too. I believe there was a plus 125, which is crazy. Yeah, there's a plus 125 at Bet365 right now, and that makes it like a 25% projected difference between numbers between my number and the books when you factor in juice. So yeah, let's go over to Toronto and Minnesota, and I like this one a ton, man. So Bailey Ober doesn't really strike out many people to begin with. He's a little bit below league average. He also doesn't walk people, right? Only like a 6% walk rate against righties, 3.7% against lefties. So yeah, projected for 1.5 walks, only projected for 3.76 strikeouts because this Blue Jays lineup, if we go up here, man, they don't really strike out much. A ton of balls put in play, especially against right-handed pitching, right? So it's like this Blue Jays lineup is going to put a lot of balls into play. So yeah, big fan of, Ober also 24.3 projected batters face. I know Minnesota's, they just lost their ace, Pablo Lopez, or one of their aces, Pablo Lopez. Got a terrible start last game from the dude who's like supposed to be in the rotation now, Festa. Like he did not go deep whatsoever. So yeah, I think that they definitely need. They've played a lot of games straight in a row. And yeah, they definitely need him to go deep. This is like his median anyways, though. So yeah, I do have him facing 24.3 batters. Like I said, only have him striking out 3.7 guys. Only have him walking 1.59 guys. There's like a pretty good chance that 20 or so balls like get put in play against Bailey Ober. And that's like kind of what you're looking for with hits allowed, especially against a good hitting team. We can see here with the Blue Jays lineup. Let's see. Yeah, Bo Bichette's has been pretty good. Vladdy is Vladdy. Obviously, 253 is not great for his standards, but Barger's been great. Kirk's been great. Springer has not been good. But Clement, Lukes, all these guys basically besides Springer are, above 250. And then these guys are all like above 280 outside of Vladdy. So yeah, and then the projected batting averages are all good too. Like weighted projected, we can quick average this out. I'm sure it's going to be pretty damn good. But let's see. Oh, and I screwed this up. Yeah, let's see what this is. And like I said, averages and everything because you got to like weight it. This wouldn't be like weighted by the lineup because obviously the top of the lineup is like way higher than the rest of them, and that's what we want obviously because they're gonna hit 3 times instead of 2, like the bottom of the lineup. Yeah, 267. I mean, yeah, come on, guys. That's really good for today's MLB. So yeah, very tough matchup. Ober, is giving up identical batting averages, right? 279. So he gives up a higher batting average, like compared to other righties and stuff like that. So his multiplier is actually the exact same, 1.07 for each side. So yeah, he'll give up hits to lefties, righties, doesn't really matter. So yeah, 6.4 hits, man. You're getting a plus 125 at 365. There's plus 110s, which is also a 20% plus difference. So obviously, guys, there's I'm not a big advocate of playing early lines on soft books, but if that's like what you do, then like I think that plus 125 is like an amazing price. So yeah, Bailey Ober over 5.5 hits allowed. And let's just go back to the rest of the projections here. So the strikeout lines, like I said I'd circle back to Erod. It's him, Davis Martin, who this line is also, I believe, minus 130 now when I checked before, which makes it like a 16% difference, which is not enough. But yeah, Erod. So the thing is with Erod, guys, is that I have him for 77 pitches. He's obviously like a pretty good strikeout guy. Definitely a really good strikeout matchup. The thing is, man, is that you're laying a lot of juice. First of all, like yes, you probably could play like a 4.5 line for plus money. You definitely could for like really good plus money. But so his pitch count, I just don't really know how to project it to be completely honest with you because he had one rehab start. It was like not even in like AAA. He had, I think it was 4.2 innings pitched and 9 strikeouts, right? So they didn't record the pitch count, but 9 strikeouts and 4.2 innings pitched would probably indicate like 75 to 80 pitches. And obviously, guys, that's like your rehab start. You usually go up like 10 pitches or so from your rehab start. So I mean, you could see where you're optimistic about his pitch count, but it's just like we don't know how many pitches he threw, and that's kind of like why I'd prefer rather just to lay off maybe. And if you can find that number, and then add like 7 pitches to it or something, that would probably be a good projection. But yeah, like I said, I just don't exactly know what Erod was at, and it's also like I don't want to be laying minus 165 on something with like where I could just be completely wrong about the pitch count on, right? Because you lose 1.65 units, it's not gonna feel great. So yeah, that's my other one that like I'm pretty above market on is Erod, but yeah. Walks, there's some good walk stuff. So Bailey Ober, like I said, I'm on his over hits. Bryce Miller, I'm on his under strikeouts. And I will say so with Ober, the Blue Jays really don't walk like that much against righties, and I do think this is a good price, obviously, right? Like 1.6, but like I don't know. Ober doesn't really walk people, and the Blue Jays don't have like crazy walk numbers. So yeah, I would just like looking at it. Ober was only over in like 3 out of 11, and yeah, like I said, I like his hits allowed prop a little bit more. Bryce Miller. So Bryce Miller, like I said, he's been bad this year. He's been walking people a lot, and that's like kind of last year he was not like that whatsoever. So I was a little bit skeptical about that, but yeah, I still think Bryce Miller makes sense, especially at plus 116. Like I do think that's a good bet, and it's something I might circle back to. Michael Sikora, obviously, guys, like I said, my walks definitely lean over. So anytime you see like a 39.8% like projected for an under, definitely your eyes should light up a little bit. I will say, guys, Sikora was like really similar to, it's like the inverse of Miller. He was like really bad at walking people, and then he started like 5 games, I think, this year. So it's not really a big sample size. He's been amazing though. Like he has really limited walks. So yeah, I just I definitely lean under because I like to think that pitchers over the offseason they work on their flaws, and that seems like what Sikora has done. But yeah, so it just really like I looked at last year's and I'm like, holy crap, like this dude was like legitimately like really bad, but now he's like been really good. So yeah, definitely lean under and something I might eventually play. But just keep in mind that I didn't look into Kremer, but I probably should have. Right, so that's another one. Hits allowed. Was there anyone else? No, I think it was just Ober. Oh yeah, Sens Lataza, guys. Definitely like this, man. Sens Lataza just gives up so many hits, especially at home. He throws a ton of pitches. So yeah, a very big edge on Antonio. And if like a minus 110, minus 115 pops up for Antonio, I will probably be on that. So just keep your eye out for that. And that's something I definitely do really like here. Antonio Sens Lataza over 6.5 hits allowed. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to drop a like, sub the channel, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you next time.